Okay, in this segment we're going to cover removing the brake hose. And we're also going to cover installing the brake hose. And we're going to combine the two segments together because it's kind of an important situation. When we open this brake line up, where we remove either end of the fitting, that opens the brake system and gravity is going to cause the fluid to start dripping out of the system. What we don't want to happen is that master cylinder to go dry. Regardless of what the situation is, we want to avoid that at all costs. We can cause damage to the master cylinder in attempting to bleed it and get it functioning again if it goes dry, and it causes a whole nother procedure and a lot more time to get the system bled out correctly. So what we want to do is remove this brake line and install the new one and get it tightened down and stop the leakage as quickly as possible so we prevent the master cylinder from going dry. Should we run into difficulties, a tight nut, anything that could slow you down and prevent you from getting it done in, you've probably got 3 to 5 minutes to work with. What you need to do is stop, top off the master cylinder again, and then a little bit extra brake fluid lost is a lot cheaper and a lot less aggravation, a lot less time than having to bleed the master cylinder. So if there's any question in your mind while you're working on this, just pop a head up and give a quick look at the master cylinder, get the fluid level. If it's getting down to where it's low, just top it off and you've got plenty of time to continue working. So what we want to do is lay out the tools that we're going to need to remove this. First thing, the cable's mounted in the middle and attached here on this vehicle. It uses a 8mm bolt with a 12mm head, so we're going to want to have a socket or wrench to fit that. We need 14mm to fit the banjo fitting, and up here where it's connected we're going to need a 10mm wrench and a pair of pliers because there's a clip that fits right in here. This slides into a bracket and a clip slides through here, and that locks that upper hose in place. So you're going to want a pair of needle nose pliers, standard pliers, or channel lock style pliers to grab that clip and just remove it. You can also sometimes get accessibility with a straight screwdriver and pry it out. So you want to get those three tools rounded up at this time. Then what we'll do is break this top connection free, just crack it free and loosen it so that we know it's free and moving, and we'll snug it down, and then we'll remove the lower one first. But prior to doing that, we're going to take out the bolt that holds the cable firmly in its bracket because that'll prevent us from getting it in and out. Have the other one laid out. Your new cable should have came with a little wire tie and two new either brass or copper banjo fitting rings, and those are the two washers that go on each side of that banjo bolt that goes through here as a seal, and you want to have those set aside. Those items you'll need to have right on hand in your hands when we start this, because you don't want to have to get up chasing down tools while your brake system's leaking. Okay, so that'll conclude this portion of removing and installing the brake hose. Please watch our next segment and we'll cover part 2 of removing and installing the brake hose.